Welcome back to Let's Play Darkness of over Daggerford Enhanced Edition. Did I load the wrong save? No, I didn't. Last time we had a time at the Lizardman camp. We can't do anything right now. So it's actually been brought to my attention, this is how far ahead I've recorded, that I actually kind of left something behind in another area? So let's go back to the Western Farmlands. Yeah, this far away.
You shall find a quick death.
Easy. Ooh, some remains. That's relevant. That's 1 coin. That's not relevant. That's 4 bullets. That's not relevant. I apparently didn't even check the remains of the werewolves. So let's do that before heading to the Blade Cliffs. I don't see a remains. I see the stool that you can sit on. They died both over here. Yeah, I think that was the stool you were looking at. Or maybe the poisoned cider cup. I will let you know that after I record this, so don't worry. Well, you're not going to be torn up over it for too long. Okay, so now, Princess of Fanlock. On the rocky shores of the Blade Cliffs, a poor hedge knight named Sir Griswold lays siege to the castle Exeltis. The siege fares poorly, and Sir Griswold cannot reach the castle's thick stone walls. Despite the overwhelming odds against his group of knights, Sir Griswold believes I can help him and take the castle from his hated enemy, Lord Feldrin Exeltis. What's it there? Be waylaid by... Okay, the ogre mages are the scarier ones. Oh, I need to have a line of sight. Wow, ogre mages do not have a lot of hit points. And plus, I mean, I am launching 3 fireballs at things. And I have D6 plus 1? Shouldn't it be D6 plus 5?
For gold and gold.
And maybe that just doesn't factor in my actual dex. Let's see, 3 GP. The Berserker leaves nothing. Awesome. Alright.
The salty sea air. We gnomes prefer the earthy sense of underground. But Granda Retsatnerd had this idea for a submerging burrow to travel the high seas. It, well, did something.
Jianga and Bebshur. In a cave.
I greet you, my child.
See how the gulls float on the breeze, suspended by invisible tethers, as if belief alone holds them aloft. This man is intently studying the gulls that soar above the cliff's edge. Excuse me, sir, but what are you doing up here? I am studying the wind and the stars and the mysteries of the multiverse. Please speak to Bebshur if you wish to know more. I have much to do if I am to follow in the footsteps of the Master. I'll leave you to your studies.
Greetings.
Greetings, citizen. You stand in the presence of Bebshur, Master Theosopher. Theosopher? Is that anything like a philosopher? Oh, no, dear child. A theosopher is nothing like a philosopher. A philosopher theorizes based on logic and empiricism, where we theosophers rely entirely on deductive reasoning and intuition. Interesting. Tell me more. We theosophers use our deductive skills to validate naturally held principles. You use deductive reasoning to enforce your pre-existing beliefs? Precisely. Take, for example, the encampment to our north. One sees a brightly colored tent with useful men and women performing drills and calisthenics. It is quite obviously a traveling circus. Looks like a castle siege to me. Well, perhaps so, but that's besides the point. You see, my gut reaction is to look upon the scene and proclaim that is a traveling circus. My next step involves proving it is so via deductive reasoning. What if your deductive reasoning leads you to make a different assumption? It can't. That's the beauty of theosophy. Your first instinctual cognition is always the right one. You can simply use deductive reasoning to prove your hypothesis. As Master Vugu would say, intuition trumps empiricism. Master Vugu, you see, was the first of our progenitor, the first wise man atop the cliff. But he is lost to us now, so I've taken up his mantle as leader of our order.
No.
Don't listen to this nonsense. I am the anointed wise man atop the cliff, as chosen by Master Vugu himself. Oh, really? When does this succession ceremony take place, pray tell? On Vugu's deathbed? Do not speak of the Master so. Vugu was the greatest mind of our age, a true visionary. What happened to your Master? He left us. The Master was filled with despair, and left from these cliffs to his death. A child standing nearby claims his last words were, "Theosophy is for the birds." We now know he was speaking in metaphors. Master loved feeding the gulls that congregate on these cliffs. We believe his study of these birds led him to some deeper meaning. Yes, we believe it has something to do with how the birds ride the winds. We believe our Master hoped his own belief system would help him rifle off the winds and take flight, metaphorically and otherwise. If successful, it would prove once and for all that intuition trumps empiricism, thus establishing theosophy as a cornerstone of the future studies in rhetorical theory. Very soon I shall follow the Master's example and take the plunge. Charlatan! Mountebank! It is I, Sir Xianga, who shall follow our Master's example and leap from the sacred cliffs. My advice to you both is to think before you jump. Spoken like a true empiricist, be gone from my sight. Ugh, we should part ways before I part your skull. Conservatism in a nutshell. Yeah. Oh no. We're dealing with jellies. Okay, I think that magic missiles are the way to go here. Can't use that item. What do you mean I can't use that item? Okay. Actually, I am using regular arrows, so maybe I'll be fine. Hit, but no damage. They're immune to projectile damage. Right. Right, I'm not using my Searing Light nearly enough. Need to remember that's part of my toolkit here. Oh right, they split when they die. They don't damage your equipment, right? Since this isn't wargaming anymore. Right, okay. Man, Reagan is an incredible powerhouse. Some standard bullets. An annoying sound. A greenstone, which is something. Alright, let's go ahead and put this one of missiles here because it actually has more charges than I thought. Oh no, it's not when they die, it's when they reach half health.
You better have some coin on you after all this trouble. Say hello to my crossbow.
That does make them very susceptible to cleaves, though. Or, you know, area attacks. Watch the XP pile up. Another ochre jelly, another set of ochre jellies. And let Reagan attract them all together. Then I can fireball there.
Yeah.
Oh, right, and because the fireball can do enough damage, it just straight up kills them without splitting them sometimes.
For gold and gold.
Oh, these guys have remains. That's interesting. Oh, is that a bunch of cleaves? Sounded like it. Alright. What do we got here? Ichor. Just a bunch of ichor, which I don't think I can do anything with. Oh. It has an effect. Okay. I'll take it then. And if not, it might actually be a quest item. Like, hey, can you go get me some ichor from these
Enough!
slimes?
I can carry no more.
Let's see, what am I carrying that's so heavy? I guess the short bow can go into the magic bag of selling. But journal and bones. An adamantine helm! Oh, it's a +2 helmet, not a actual, like, adamantine item. Where it would give, damage reduction. Alright. Vugu's journal. This worn and weather-beaten tome has had all but the very last entry torn out, as if the author intentionally destroyed all record of their prior thoughts or achievements. The final entry is written in a hurried, erratic fashion, which might call into question the author's sanity. 15 years ago, when I finalized my doctrine on theosophy, I never dreamed it would morph into the abomination that now plagues me so. The initial concept was sound, that one should not discount deep psychic urges and the motivations of the unconscious mind when attempting to validate an unproven hypothesis. Too often, science ignores a creature's base primeval desires, and instead chooses to place too much importance on facts and clinical data. Where I went wrong was in my attempts to translate this new approach to my pupils, a couple of fawning inept university rejects named Bebshir and Janga. These two brainless nitwits seemed less concerned with the meaning of my words than with the syntax. For example, though I desire to apply more weight to emotions and ideals, they've chosen to do so by forsaking the primary intent of philosophical theory, which is to prove a hypothesis using factual data. Instead, the blathering idiots use empiricism simply to bolster their twisted, quasi-spiritual view of the world and have begun promoting this new pseudoscience in all the trade journals. Worse still, they've named me as their mentor, which has drastically reduced my standing within the philosophical community. My reputation is in tatters, and without that, I am nothing. Quartz crystal. Quartz crystal. Actually, Reagan, what is your deflection ASA modifier? You have the Cloak of Fortification +2, so... I think I'm going to give you the helm for now, actually, because that will free up the more flexible cloak slot. Perfbin, you only have Cloak of Protection +1, so I can also give you some saving throws there.
Enough! I can carry no more.
Let's see. Cloak of Protection +2 I'm still holding, but I have the Cloak of the Bat, which is Protection +1 and Dark Vision. Actually, I don't think I need Dark Vision as an elf, do I? Let's see. Immunity to sleep, keen sense, automatic search. Oh, I have low light vision, not dark. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that onto you and put that onto me. Because it's also like a video game, so they're not gonna make dark vision too annoying. Another pile of bones with a black hammer shaft. Ooh. The hammer might just be 2 pieces, so that's worth looking at in Daggerford. Let's talk to these 2 numbskulls.
No. Continue with that and you shall be properly schooled.
Alright. Let's take a peek over here before worrying about the castle siege. Oh, there's some rune stones down there. And the limited verticality that Neverwinter Nights has. A gravestone. The inscription on this grave marker reads, Lady Exaltis, loving mother and noble lady. None of the ancient characters on this slab of stone are still legible. There are a bunch of rats here and a window into this boat. Heavy planks of splintered salt-stained wood surround this large window in the old ship's hull. The window's thick tinted glass is cracked and a thick layer of black grime obscures your view. Let's open the window then. There's sure to be some neat stuff here. And no traps. Whether for good or ill, some creature lies in this coffin, long undisturbed. Open the coffin.
You must hear me. Speak with me.
A visitor. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Abu Nosfir Ibn Atan Ibn Hazan, though you may call me by my less formal name, which is Nosferat. If you have a moment... Nosferat. I'm in desperate need of your assistance. You're a vampire. What can I possibly do to aid you? Yes, I am a creature of the night, though I differ in subtle ways from the typical garden varieties of vampire. Well, I'm not prejudiced against dealing with the undead. Simply tell me what you need done and how much you're willing to pay me to do it. Ah, fellow opportunist. Splendid. I shall cut right to the chase then. While traveling up the coast, my ship I think that's supposed to be floundered on a outcropping of jagged reefs. A local priest came to investigate and seeing my coffin and chose to consecrate the ground around the ship. He ringed the vessel with powerful runestones blessed by his goodly deity. By preventing my ability to leave this place, he's made it impossible for me to feed. Without sustenance, I'm doomed to suffer a slow and painful disintegration. I see more than one coffin here. A wise vampire does not travel abroad with but a single place to rest his head. Though easily portable, coffins are also subject to the elements. Consider these other containers backups in my rather elaborate contingency plan. Where's the ship's crew? All perished when the ship ran aground. I would have perished as well, but for my immunity to such things. A pack of wolves came in the night and disposed of the bodies. Thought vampires were immortal. A vampire's immortality hinges on our ability to feed. Without blood, we slowly waste away, neither dead nor undead, but suspended in a limbo of unimaginable torment. And you wish for me to remove the runestones? Yes, destroy the ritual stones, and the spell will be lifted. I shall then find a suitable new abode and resume my career as a bounty hunter for some local official or militia. Alright. Well, what's to stop you from sinking your teeth into me once I've accomplished this task? Class? You have my solemn oath that I shall harm neither you nor any who serve you for the rest of your days. In my lands, man's word is an oath bond. Breaking such an oath results in a curse more terrible than any devised by demon or devil. Know that know too that I've carried rare trinkets with me from the land of fate, which I am willing to bestow upon you if you do this thing for me. Sure. I see you're a woman of reason. This is good. Return to me once the ritual stones are destroyed, and I shall bestow upon you a suitable reward. I'll return once they're destroyed. You know what? This guy is actually pretty reasonable. Like, he's a vampire, but he's still, like, you know... He just does a job. He's a mercenary. I can respect that. Alright. Jesus, these things have a lot of HP. Thank you. I can't ask you to bash it, unfortunately. Alright, are there any more rune stones? Oh, there actually is one over there. Can I bash it from here? I can. Nice. Alright, is there one, like, around the back here? Since he did say they were placed around it. Does not seem so. Alright, let's have a rest in here. In case I need my fireball. Oh, you're out.
I greet you.
Ah, you return, and I sense I'm now free to finally depart this cramped space with coffin in tow. And now for your reward. The gift I bestow upon you is immortality. You shall join my brood as its newest member. Arise, my children, and greet your new sister. Lord, for your solemn vow not to slay me. Oh, that. Well, as a Karin oath bond is based on a man's word, and since I gave up my humanity when I became a vampire, such oaths from me are quite meaningless, I'm afraid. He flashes a rueful smile. Well, time to engage in a little fratricide, then. Man, this region of the Sword Coast has a lot of vampires. Do I have anything that grants true sight? I have Ultra Vision. Does that grant me See Invisible? It does not. Summoned Dire Bear. Get wrecked, nerd. Divine Favor.
You shall find a quick death.
And Searing Light. Oh, he went invisible again. He's just gonna keep summoning friggin' bears.
Taste steel, villainous wretch.
I should also heal Reagan. Yeah, I should also use the Rod of the Ghostly Visage.
For
Damn.
honor and duty.
Alright. Bard Song. Wounding Whispers. Ghostly Visage. Why am I buffing? I need to rest first. Okay, Ghostly Visage, Wounding Whispers, Bard Song, Summon Air Elemental, Cat's Grace on myself and on Perf Bin. And don't waste the fireball arrows on weapons.
For gold and gold.
Ooh, getting some damage on him.
You'd better
Wait, no,
have some
don't waste
coin on
that,
you
I
after
said.
all this trouble.
Getting some early damage on him is nice, though.
Ha! Ha! Yeah!
And using the fireball on the dire bear will hit him even though he's invisible.
For glory!
Quest complete. And we get Nosferat's Blade. Known blades of this configuration are traceable to the armory of David Ali Fazir, a merchant of renown 50 years ago. He claimed to have acquired these weapons aboard a drifting ghost ship, a vessel that sank soon after he found it, though he refused to state whether its crew achieved their ghost status before or after he arrived on the scene. A +1 keen scimitar. In other words, money. Alright, let's rest again. I imagine the rats could, like, if you were a druid, say, hey, don't trust that duder. There's a fishing camp down there. Interesting that that's noted, but not the boat. Honestly, that does feel like I did a lot, though, because I did a full quest and I... Oh, hello, there's a cave down there. I can't quite get to it, though, because of the water, I think. Yeah. So that probably goes from under the castle. Yeah, let's learn about the situation here. And then end things off. And, you know, map this segment out. That's a lot of knights. Sir Griswold.
What do you want?
I see that you've answered my summons. Griswold stands tall and lean like a tree blown by bitter winds. His face, almost entirely hidden by a great bushy beard, wears a permanent scowl. Rows of ornate bird cages are pushed up against the canvased head walls, and the stale air is filled with noisy squawks. You summoned me. Explain yourself. I am a simple man, so I must speak plainly. My siege of Castle Exeltis fares poorly, and my knights grow restless, but I cannot breach the castle walls, and storming the gates is a fool's game. Why are you laying siege? I lay my life down before the only thing that matters. Love. Griswold's dark eyes grow soft for a moment as he reminisces. Ah, my dear Soliana. We met last winter in Baldur's Gate. As the snow melted, so too did our hearts. All through the spring, our love for one another grew strong, stronger than the wind. She sounds like a very special woman. Soliana is both a woman of great beauty and of great mystery. She arrived late one cold winter's night in Baldur's Gate, carrying little more than a chest filled with rare gems. She traveled alone, but claimed to be a royal princess from the kingdom of Fanlock, wherever that might be. Despite her unusual story, many knights competed for Soliana's hand in marriage. My greatest rival was a young lordling named Feldrian Exeltis. That cheating coward poisoned Soliana's mind with lies. He turned her against me and stole her away from Baldur's Gate like a thief in the night. What do you hope to gain by besieging the castle? That filthy coward Feldrin has hidden Soliana away in his castle. He hides behind the castle's thick stone walls and refuses to let me so much as see a hair on Soliana's head. Griswold clenches his heavy mailed fists. I must speak with Soliana. Are you certain that Soliana still loves you? I am no great lord. I have no castle. I have no servants. But I can imagine that such fine things might impress a young woman. But I can offer Soliana the one thing that Feldrin cannot. Love. A songbird in one of the nearby cages chirps softly, and Griswold sighs deeply. I can't help you to win Celiana's heart. If you find a way to lower the castle drawbridge, my knights and I shall storm the castle and deal with that coward Feldran. The drawbridge controls are located on the inside rampart walls near the gatehouse, but you would have to be a bird to fly over those castle walls. Talk to the page.
Hello.
So, interesting thing. The birds. These two are talking about how birds seem to hover, essentially. Unfortunately, I can't see the birds.
Continue with that, and you shall be properly schooled.
Oh, no invisible path? I don't believe that. Because that's exactly what the game is hinting at. Either way, we're going to deal with that next time on Let's Play Orkness over Daggerford Enhanced Edition. See you guys then.